Hey, sixth grade. Welcome back to our homework help video. This video today is going to be more of an advanced type of strategy, which is using a table to find different rates. So as a reminder, we have been talking about ratios. We've been comparing group A to group B. We also started talking about unit rates, or the amount per one. And a lot of times when we look at pricing and speed, we are going to focus on the unit rate, or the amount per one. So if I know that a bag of chips each costs $5, I can use that amount to calculate lots of different numbers of chips. Same thing with driving. When your parents are driving, you know that they're following the speed limit, which is the miles per hour. And using that, they can calculate how far they can go in 7 hours or 8 hours. So we're going to do one problem today that's a little bit shorter, but it's still very important that we still take our time and show our work. So please go ahead and get your highlighters ready, and let's begin. Marcus swam 4 laps in 16 minutes. So this already is making me think about ratio, it's making me think about rates, because we're talking about laps and minutes. He swam at a constant speed. That just means that he swam the entire race the same exact speed. Complete the table to show the time it took him to swim different numbers of laps at this speed. So the good news about this table is that the computer has already made one for us. So when we start working in class tomorrow and Friday, for those of you who have me on B-Day, you will actually have to draw a table yourself. And that's also something that's important in 7th grade math, being able to build your own table, organize your numbers, and then find your unit rate. But because they gave us the table, we can actually use this to help us. So on the left side of the table, I have laps swam. On the right side, I have minutes. I'm going to use multiplication and division relationships to figure out the missing value. So think about what we talked about with being equivalent. You are allowed to multiply or divide by any number you want, as long as you do the same operation and same number to both parts of the ratio. So if I look at 4 and 1, I know that 4 divided by 4 equals 1. So to find the amount of time it takes me, I'm going to do 16 divided by 4, and that gives me 4. So for the first part, Marcus can swim 1 lap in 4 minutes. His unit rate would be 4 minutes per lap. That's his unit rate because it's per one. Now, what makes this advanced is, if you notice on the next slide, moving down the table, it's now asking you how many laps does he do in 1 minute. So not minutes per lap, but laps per minute. So you have to be really careful with that. We can't just say it's 1 to 4 and then flip it and say 4 to 1. We have to actually use a mathematical operation to go from 4 minutes to 1 minute. In this case, we are going to divide by 4 again. But that means that we also have to take 1 and divide it by 4 over here. And remember, 1 divided by 4 is actually going to be a fraction decimal answer, and it's going to be 0.25. So a few ways we can get that. 1 divided by 4 is the fraction 1/4. In the calculator, you can type 1 divided by 4, and it's going to give you 0.25. Or you can think about 4 quarters, and one of those quarters is 25 cents. So after we finish the whole problem, our final answers in the missing spots are 4 and 0.25, or 1/4. All right, so we are all finished with this problem. Reminder that you, again, are allowed to multiply or divide by any number that will help you to find an equivalent rate. as long as you do the same operation to both sides of your ratio. So that's it. Great job to everybody who followed along with this video. Be sure to write your CER explanation. Remember, you have to have at least 5 sentences, but if you want to push yourself, you can have like 6, 7 sentences too. All right, see you 6th grade. Bye.